Oh.
Stop saying stuff about me that's not true.
What did I say about you that's not true, sir?
Okay. First of all, you keep telling people that I scammed black people out of their money. That is not what I did.
I don't know what you. Hold on, wait. I don't know what you did. Hold on.
Tell it right like I've told it 50,000 times to the people who watch me. My record is over 20 years old. That's why the fuck you can't find anything underneath me. Not because my record is sealed, but because it's so old and
No, I can find some stuff.
You don't get to look
Hold
at
on, no, I can find some stuff with you.
So for all you people talking about I'm a snitch, you're saying my record is sealed. No, it's just old as fuck.
I can find some stuff.
And I haven't had a traffic ticket since then. And I did not commit armed robbery, so let's correct that too.
I didn't say you committed armed robbery.
Like the people said in the chat, it was grand larceny theft. And the reason that a lot of us got probation is because it was our first motherfucking offenses. That's why. We were only facing 4 years in jail. We took our
Only
pleas.
4.
When they came and got my ass, I was the last one on the list because everybody you told. We didn't rob them up with no motherfucking guns. We did what white people do, and we did paper shit and motherfucking computer trails, okay? So quit telling people that I scam black people in the community. That's what I'm talking about.
I was talking about Vicky is what I can actually see. I can't see yours.
Okay, no, but you put me in there.
And then when we talk about children in all kind of ways, children are always used and misused and abused. We talk about, nobody wants to talk about sex trafficking in this country, right? Nobody wants to talk about the fact that there are so many kids that go missing, boys and girls, right? Boys too, and they're taken off into sex trafficking. Do you know that more than 50, I want to say, don't quote me on this, but it's about somewhere, but I think it's like 60.
I'm going to quote you, motherfucker. I'm quoting.
Look, that those many children, more than half of them.
She said those many. There's a bunch of motherfuckers.
No, listen. More than half of them are children that were in child protective services. Right?
Last time. But this motherfucking $200,000 goddamn conference, I think we're a little bit over the line, and this is where I draw the line, and I've now got to fucking say something. See, because I throw conferences. I know what they cost, and this nigga's full of shit. So for all of y'all that are fucking defending him, I don't hear anybody defending that. Why does this nigga need no, I don't charge $200 for tickets to get in. My tickets are not that high. And anybody who does not have funds to get in, I actually will give free tickets away all the time. And once our venue is fully paid for, we actually give the rest of the tickets away for fucking donations, my nigga. Angela Hill said, why do you care? Bitch, if you talking to me, I care because as a black person that runs around this country, giving all I have to fucking sit here and try and free my people, I'm tired of watching these slick-ass niggas with these big lips and these fancy words and this shiny-ass shit come up here and fucking lie to our people, use our people, mistreat our people, and do it in the name of saying they black too. Fuck out of here. Black motherfuckers can get it. White motherfuckers can get it. All you motherfuckers can get it. If you are a detriment to the black community, I'm calling all of you niggas out. Tariq Nasheed does not need $200,000 to throw a conference. And this is what's funny to me. How come Tariq Nasheed never pays for anything? Anything, my nigga. Do you see anybody else having crowd fundraisers to throw a conference? All that money this nigga done made off the black community in Hidden Colors 5, he doesn't have enough money to front the money up front and pay for his own fucking conference and then charge tickets at the door. So he gonna throw a conference only if you give him the fucking money. Really? Everything this nigga does, he goes to the community and you niggas always give him all your fucking money. He does not need $200,000 to throw a conference. He could throw a conference, and I'm telling you this from a fucking professional aspect, because I've been doing nothing but throwing conferences
all right, fam. So the clips you just saw and the belligerent outburst you just heard was Meechee X, a supposedly pro-black YouTuber who I, at once upon a time, until her recent actions, thought she was on code. I thought she's somebody who maybe people should listen to. I like to hear, even because seems to be a shortage of women who are authentic and genuinely for black people that are out here speaking with large audiences, I tend to want to support and watch the channels of these black women who come out and they're talking strong for black people. At one time, I was a fan of Cynthia G. I used to be a fan of Meechee X. I used to be a fan of Vicky Diller. But it just seems that always these women, it's only a matter of time until they show their true colors. The reason why I showed those clips is because I wanted to show you the difference between the way she conducted herself with Tommy Sotomayor, especially with the second clip you saw. You see how she's laughing and giggling and cheesing. Tommy Sotomayor is a dangerous coon who said things like, we need more Dylan Roofs or Michael Schlagers to kill niggerish black people. Just real belligerent, samboish stuff. Like he's always shitting on black women. Tommy Sotomayor is a known agent and coon, a known enemy of black society. He has so many Trump fans and anti-black immigrant fans. Most of the people who like Tommy Sotomayor are non-black people. That's his biggest fan base. And then, of course, there's a bunch of coons because you see all his black male fans on his YouTube videos shitting on black women, talking about how you can't trust black women, X, Y, Z. So Meechee X is allegedly so passionate about dangerous people to our community, but you're buddies with Tommy Sotomayor. I'm going to put a link in the description box of her video where she says, don't ask me shit else about being cool with Tommy Sotomayor. So she basically did a whole video on her channel defending her friendship with Tommy Sotomayor, who's a dangerous coon who took 5 years to make a movie. Tariq Nasheed has made four documentaries since Tommy Sotomayor has announced Fatherless America, and it's just now been released earlier this year, a couple of months ago. Tariq Nasheed made 4 movies in the time that it took Tommy Sotomayor to make one. Tariq Nasheed produces on his promises, on his crowdfundings. He even said, before Meechee X came out with this attack on Tariq, that he was going to do it on Kickstarter, so either he got all the money or everybody would get their refunds back. He didn't say that as a response to Meechee or to cover his tracks after Meechee called him out. He said it before Meechee ever came out with her little attack that he was going to do it on Kickstarter so that everyone would get refunded their money if he didn't reach the goal. Number 2, as a fan of Tariq, I can vouch and I can vouch for the fact that fans of Tariq Nasheed were asking him to do the conference in response to the Revolt Summit, because at first Tariq said, hey, they need to let me on a Revolt Summit so we can have somebody on there speaking truth to power. And everybody said, hey, Tariq, we all know they're not going to let you on a Revolt Summit, so you should do your own summit. That's how he even thought of the idea. He didn't say, hey, Yvette and Tone did an ADOS conference, Meechee X is doing a conference, this is my perfect opportunity to get some money. He wasn't even thinking about a conference until his fans started asking him to do it. So the fact that Meechee X, instead of trying to, she knows people. I know she's fell out with Joyce Watkins and whatever, but she knows some other people. I'm sure she knows somebody that could have got in touch with Tariq if she can't get in touch with Tariq herself. So she can reach out and say, hey, brother, I have some questions about this. I'm not sure why you're doing things this way. It doesn't make sense to me. And then maybe Tariq can break down to her, hey, my conferences cost a lot of money. What Tariq is saying makes sense. First of all, if you're going to get a venue, a nice venue, like maybe the Midtown Art Center that Tariq gets for his lectures and stuff like that, that costs money. Or whatever theater or whatever he's going to get, that costs money. Number two, he has to pay staff, security. He has to fly the speakers out, get them hotel rooms and not have them staying in the Best Western or some extended stay hotel. So he's trying to do something and he's trying to not do it janky. He's trying to do it on a big scale. The Revolt Summit, for example, had millions of dollars behind it. I didn't hear Meechee X jumping up talking about, you don't need no millions of dollars. Da, 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 da. Now, I know she may have said something negative about the Revolt TV Summit, but what I'm saying is that I didn't hear her pocket watching AT&T. I didn't hear her pocket watching Killer Mike and these other people who went on these Revolt Summits talking about where's all this money going and this, that, and the other, or whoever's putting it on. I know it's not quite the same because they had corporate white sponsors, but still, that's what I'm saying is that it takes millions of dollars. P. Diddy has millions of dollars. Why didn't he pay for it himself? P. Diddy is supposedly a hip-hop billionaire. Where's Meechee X's video talking about why didn't P. Diddy pay for the Revolt TV Summit himself? With Tariq's movies, because she talking about, you notice Tariq doesn't pay for anything. George Lucas had, I know he's not over Star Wars anymore, but even before he sold Star Wars, George Lucas had millions upon millions of dollars. Why didn't he fund the Star Wars movie himself? Because nobody does that. Tariq is doing all the groundwork to put these documentaries together. He's working with his editor and paying his editor. He's interviewing. He's the one interviewing other people. He's traveling across the country or flying people to LA or whatever he's doing. Tariq is doing all the groundwork. He deserves to be compensated for his work. That's this dusty, broke, if you a black-owned business, give me a discount mentality. And like Tariq said, if people don't donate enough, people don't have to donate to it. So if people don't donate enough for him to feel like he can do it right, then he said he was. That's why he's doing it on Kickstarter. And again, this is before Meechee X's attack. And the reason why, I know there's another clip in there that I played of her and Tommy Sotomayor arguing, even though the very first clip was of her and Tommy arguing, even though the second clip was of them being cordial, and I just wanted to show the difference. The first clip is, I wanted to say something about this woman, Meechee X. This woman is a criminal. I don't know what it is about a lot of these pro-black people that come out of nowhere, but a lot of times when you look at their backgrounds, they got a scamming, criminal background. Meechee X is making these ad hominem attacks about Tariq's appearance that have nothing to do with whether or not he's a so-called scammer. It just shows that there's some underlying animosity, that you would come at somebody like Tariq with so much animosity. Somebody who, when I was her fan, I saw her kind of talk about the things Tariq said and repeat the things that Tariq said almost verbatim. So I knew at least at one point, maybe she's not anymore, but at one point she was a fan of Tariq Nasheed. But now all of a sudden he's the biggest scamming pimp because he's raising money to do a black American conference that his fans asked him to do. And he said, again, before any of her attacks, so this is not some kind of attempt to cover up his tracks, before any of her attacks, he said he was specifically going to do it on Kickstarter because on Kickstarter it's all or nothing. He's not doing it on GoFundMe or Indiegogo or whatever these other ones are. He's doing it specifically on Kickstarter because Kickstarter has an all or nothing rule. Either you raise your entire goal or you get none of the money. So it's not like Tariq was going to get $100,000 pocketed and say, well, we didn't raise enough money for the conference, so it's off. And he walks away with $100,000. He wasn't doing something like that. He doesn't have a history of doing things like that. That's why people keep donating to him over and over and over again, while the person you're cool with and doing live streams with is a known agent and enemy of black society. This is extremely suspect and disappointing behavior from Meechee X. It's extremely suspect. And again, with this, and the reason why I played that second clip is to, number one, show how her and Tommy Sotomayor started off as a beef. I played that clip, that's that first clip with her and Tommy Sotomayor, to show that they started out as enemies. They started out as enemies. Tommy Sotomayor was roasting her, doing his, I guess, quote-unquote, ethers, exposing her criminal record. Yet she turns around and is butt buddies with Tommy Sotomayor, making videos, and like I said, go check the description box after this video so you can watch her video defending her friendship with Tommy Sotomayor. or her association with him. Oh, you can have conversations with people you disagree with. But when when Tariq Nasheed does something you don't agree with, instead of having a cordial conversation with him, you have a belligerent outburst, and you have a criminal record for theft. So you're a thief. Your son is in jail for God knows what. So are you really, Meechee X, someone that we should trust? Are you really somebody that's trustworthy? And this video, I don't want to make this too long because honestly, family, I didn't even want to address this subject. I don't like getting in other people's messes and beefs, but like Meechee X said, she felt like she had a duty to expose Tariq Nasheed for being a scammer. I feel like I have a duty to expose suspected agents in our community because this is real disappointing behavior from Meechee X, but it kind of lines up with someone who has a criminal past, who's a thief, and who raises children who become criminals. You was over there. I know y'all fell out. Vicky Dillard, but she was rocking with Vicky Dillard over there at 5 Nubian Queen. Vicky Dillard is showing herself to be an agent. As soon as you Google Vicky Dillard, you can see that she went to prison for mortgage fraud. Meechee X is basically, you have video evidence of her admitting to grand larceny theft. What's up with all these scammers? Except for the fact that you probably can't get a normal job. So that's why you're running around being fake pro-black, because that's the only way you can make money. Vicky Dillard used to tell a lie when I first started watching her that she was a political prisoner. You're not a political prisoner. Is it when you go to jail for like police brutality? I mean, killing a cop or something like that, like uh, uh, Mustafa Shakur and other Panthers did. Asada Shakur, even though she got broken out. Those are political prisoners. When you're a scammer, that's not you're being a political prisoner. But Vicky Dillard told that outright lie. Vicky Dillard told that outright lie. That she was a political prisoner, but you went to jail for mortgage fraud. Meechee X, grand larceny theft. So y'all are some retail fraud, mortgage fraud, scammers, thieves. But black people are supposed to trust you to be a steward of money, but not someone like Tariq Nasheed, who's never had such a history. And there's plenty of things that Tariq Nasheed does that I don't agree with him, because I know the Meechee fans will come here and say, and they're not really even Meechee fans, they're just kind of Tariq haters. But the Meechee fans / Tariq haters will come over here and say, I'm a Tariq dick rider because this and that. There's plenty of things that I disagree with Tariq on. But I'm just not off code, and I'm not going to come out with a belligerent attack on him over something that I don't really have all the facts on. That's the difference between me and Meechee X. I had my reasons for not donating to Hidden Colors 5. I actually asked for a refund from my donation. I donated $300 to Hidden Colors 5, and I got a refund on that money because I didn't agree with some of the people that were in Hidden Colors 5. So I'm not go along with whatever Tariq says because he's Tariq Nasheed. So that's not this. I know that's going to be the accusation from people who don't like Tariq, but that's not who I am. No, whether you want to say it or not to make yourself feel better. But I just want to say that because, look, again, and I don't want to say people can't turn their lives around, but I just want to say that it's awfully coincidental that these pro-black people who come out of nowhere. Tariq did not come out of nowhere. Again, Tariq started out as a dating guru, and then he kind of switched over to pro-blackness. But Tariq before he started talking pro-black, he had established himself with black people, even though it wasn't about pro-blackness at first. It was dating and all that stuff, dating and pimping and all that stuff. Meechee X came out of nowhere. I didn't know who she was. The next thing you know, she's on 5 Nubian Queen and is associated with Boyce Watkins. But why is it that these pro-black people who come out of nowhere seem to have a scam history? And I brought up Cynthia G, who also showed herself to be an agent. And I wanted to do a video about Cynthia G because one of her fans explained or admitted to me, and I had a screenshot of it, but it was on a phone that broke. And in the video, it was a video from some woman named Naya. She was making a video about Cynthia G, but I guess got nervous because she was caping for Cynthia G or whatever, and she couldn't stand up to that. So she deleted that video. So it was like my phone broke shortly after, like almost basically immediately after I took that screenshot. And then she deleted the video, so I couldn't get another screenshot, even though I had a new phone the next day. But anyway, it was a fan of Cynthia G admitting that Cynthia G is a female Tommy Sotomayor. Because a lot of people, a lot of her, Cynthia, and this video isn't about Cynthia G. I'm not going to talk about her because she's not worth talking about after this video. But I'm going to mention her because I just figure I'm going to kill all these birds with one stone. So let's talk about Cynthia G for a little bit and why I stopped fucking with her. Cynthia G, at first she came off as pro-black, but then her points started becoming more and more biased, more and more hypocritical towards black men. She's always harping on making it seem like all black men have an obsession to be with white women, even though her own sister, a black woman, is with a white man. Like basically, black women are so loyal to the race, and black men are all weak, pathetic coons. But then in your own family, your sister's a swirler. You've admitted to swirling in the past. Notice how these women are belligerent, rude, unladylike, and then they turn out to be agents, and they have criminal histories. Now I don't know that Cynthia G has any kind of criminal history, but the commonality between her and Meechee X is that they're both belligerent. And notice how these people who end up turning into agents are turning out to show some agent-like activity. They all got put on by Boyce Watkins. Cynthia G started really blowing up on her channel and started really getting some serious views after Boyce Watkins had her on a couple times. Meechee X got her start with Boyce Watkins affiliated Fly Nubian Network. So did Vicky Diller, who flipped the script and started becoming the anti-ADOS movement after she was defending the ADOS movement when it first started. Then she started going against it because Boyce don't like it. But notice how all these suspected agents are affiliated with Joyce Watkins. Got their come up from Joyce Watkins. But anyway, fam, I don't want to continue on this video. I really didn't even want it to be this long. I just really wanted to kind of just address some points. I don't think Tariq is doing anything wrong here. She's pocket watching, like he said. You don't know how much these things cost. You don't know how much it costs to pay security. If they're having food, to pay for the venue, to pay the lecturers their lecture fee, plus flying them out, plus getting them airfare to and fro. Plus himself, since he's the coordinator, he deserves to make money for the work that he's doing. It's just like if you're a stay-at-home mechanic, or I'm not a stay-at-home, but you're a independent mechanic. Yes, you could do it for free, but you deserve to be compensated for your labor. If Tariq is going to do labor to put this conference together, if he's pocketing some of it, I don't care. He deserves to be compensated for his labor. And if people think he's making too much, then the people won't give the money. But if you're mad that people do trust him and do give him the money, and you've decided arbitrarily that he doesn't need it because you do conferences in coffee shops and it don't cost you as much. Because I've seen videos of Meechee X's little conferences, especially the ones since she's broke off from Boyce Watkins. At least when she was with Boyce Watkins, he had her up in auditoriums. But now I see her without Boyce Watkins. She's up in little coffee shops. In the back of restaurants and shit. So because Tariq don't want to do a janky ass lecture like that, he's a scammer. And again, yes, he may not need the whole 200,000, but if part of it is for his is to compensate him, I don't care. Plus Tariq, it's good that Tariq has more money than the average person, so he's not compromised. If you know civics in our Constitution, Congress has an income limit so that people are not easily bought off and compromised. Or there was like a recommended minimum income that members of the government had in our American Constitution. So it's good that Tariq gets his money from the people so that he's not as open to compromise and bribery from white supremacists. So that he's not out here being a P. Diddy or a Kanye or a Lee Merritt, getting all his money from white people and really out here scamming and running games on black people. So it's good that Tariq gets his money so that he can speak freely and not have to be afraid of losing a check. But again, you don't know Meechee X because your conferences are not on the level of Tariq Nasheed's. So why are you speaking on something that you don't know about? And you try to speak, I'm a professional conference. I do this professionally. You just started doing this a couple of months ago because nobody knew you before then. You just started doing this shit last year or 2 years ago. Nobody knew who you were before then, and because you were a goddamn criminal and a scammer. So Meechee X, it's you that need to go somewhere and sit down. You want to talk about Tariq's appearance? All I'm gonna say is this, Meechee, I seen some full body photos of you, and you know, the curves ain't there. Let me just put it that way. So let's not go into the ad hominem attacks on people's appearance. All right, let's not do that. And this belligerent outburst, when I compare it to your cordial relationship with somebody like Tommy Sotomayor, that tells me all I need to know. That's number one. And then number two, like I said, just on a side note, notice how all these agents get their come up. Cynthia G, with her anti-black male propaganda, even though she's got family members, her family, black female family members who are out here swirling, but she nowhere near demonizes black women for swirling to the extent that she makes it seem like every black man is a natural born swirler if you listen to Cynthia G's channel. And like I said, I had a screenshot of one of her fans admitting that because a Tommy Sotomayor exists, that's why she's a fan of Cynthia G. So that's basically admitting, instead of saying that they're both wrong and we shouldn't be engaging in gender wars, you're saying, hey, I'm going to go be a fan of Cynthia G so I can fuel the black gender wars. Cynthia G is a female Tommy Sotomayor. I just don't have the screenshot anymore. That's why I never made the video. And plus, I don't want to be talking and gossiping about women anyway. I don't really want to get into that YouTube stuff. My whole that YouTube beef stuff. My whole channel is about white supremacy and toppling white supremacy. But these are the kind of things that can interfere with us toppling white supremacy, is being infested with agents who pretend to be speaking against white supremacy, but at the end of the day, they're chaos agents. They're, chaos agents, basically. 'Cause that's what Meechee X comes off as. That's what Cynthia G comes off as. You start off cool, and the next thing you know, you're beefing with everybody. You're taking slick shots at everybody. That's what Cynthia G started doing. She's cool with everybody, and the next thing you know, she's slowly but surely taking shot after Tariq until they had a showdown. That's why her and Tariq fell out. Tariq was cool with her. Even after I stopped being a fan of Cynthia G, she was still calling Tariq show, and they were still cool for months until Cynthia G exposed herself by starting to attack Tariq Nasheed. And it's the same thing with Meechee X. Tariq has never said anything to you, and you come out with this belligerent rant against him. Tommy Sotomayor, quote unquote, ethers you, exposes your whole criminal record, and you're butt buddies with him. You're best pals with him. And I wouldn't be surprised, based off the energy I've got from researching her relationship with him and watching a couple of her live streams and broadcasts, as just background research before I made this video. It almost seems like there's something sexual going on between them. I know that's conjecture. I don't know that may not be happening, so I'm not out here saying that that's fact or I know that for sure. Let me put that disclaimer. I do not know that for any sort of fact whether or not Meechee X is sleeping with Tommy Sotomayor. But I'm just saying I kind of got that vibe from watching a couple of clips of their broadcast together. They have multiple 3 and 4 hour broadcasts. I don't see how you can sit up with a dangerous coon for 3 and 4 hours. I couldn't do it. I don't have the tolerance. But you're sitting up here having cordial conversations about political issues with a coon who's against everything that you speak about politically. But Tariq Nasheed announces a conference that his fans asked him to announce, and you come out with a belligerent rant. It's very suspect. It's very, very suspect. And we need to watch these agents. I'm not trying to say that Tariq is infallible. Again, like I said, I had my own disagreements with some of the people that were in here to color files. I'm not even going to say who some of them are, but you probably can look through my channel and maybe guess. I have some videos that are like 2 years old about some of the people that were in Hidden Colors 5, who I believe to be scammers. So I'm not saying Tariq walks on water or I agree with every decision he makes. But at the same time, this attack on Tariq was totally unnecessary, it's totally inappropriate, and it's something that you have no facts on. Because your conferences, again, I've seen videos and pictures of your little tours and conferences that you supposedly do professionally, and they are not on the level of what Tariq Nasheed does. You don't attract the crowds he does, and you just don't attract the crowds he was. So that's part of it. Maybe you're jealous because you couldn't raise $200,000, Meechee, even if you wanted to. You're trying to paint it as this thing where you wouldn't do that if you were Tariq, and you do conferences all the time, and you would never even think of asking for $200,000. But it's different when you can't ask for $200,000 from the people because you don't have enough people rocking with you, and you don't have enough people that trust you. Meechee X, you and I both know you cannot ask for $200,000 whether you wanted to or not. It's not that you could get $200,000, but you're better than that. You can't. And maybe that's why you're speaking on Tariq and you're so angry and belligerent. Because you know you can't do what he does. But either way, sister, please. Please sit down, be quiet, and stop embarrassing yourself. And anyway, that's my rant on this video. Like, share, subscribe. Peace. I'm out.